Hello and welcome to You and Your Reps. My name is Victor Azu. In this edition, we take a look at issues around security, constitution review, and local content, not forgetting other regular segments of the program. Now, let's begin by telling you that the Speaker, House of Representatives, has urged the police to ensure a speedy and thorough investigation into the recent violence in Shasha area of Oyo State. This is to enable prosecution and punishment of those who instigated and participated in the mayhem. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has the details of these and other deliberations at plenary.
The unfortunate killings and destruction of property, the Speaker noted, are manifestations of the danger Nigerians face as a people. He commiserated with all victims, adding that the House will work to avoid a reoccurrence, just as it aligns itself with the initiative of Mr. President of setting up a committee mandated to build the peace. The House, he says, will constitute a group to work with the committee.
Let me reiterate that we have a greater responsibility to keep the peace in our country. And to do that, we must first commit ourselves to the cause of equal justice and fair treatment for all. Only then can we wage peace with resolve, secure in the knowledge that with peace, a more prosperous union is within reach.
The lawmakers during plenary passed a resolution advising opinion leaders to avoid inflammatory or inciting comments as moved by Representative Dachung Bagos, and called on the police to address security breaches in parts of Abia State as moved by House Deputy Chief Whip Nkiruka Onyejocha.
To urge the Inspector General of Police to prioritize the security of those government areas and arrest the criminal.
The House also resolved to investigate the utilization of the billions of naira made available to agencies by the federal government as intervention fund from 2015 to 2020 as moved by Representative Henry Wauba. The need for the Independent National Electoral Commission to review upward the number of state constituencies across the country raised by Representative Moraino Ajibola got the nod of House members.
Section 91 of the Constitution provides that the House of Assembly of a state shall consist of 3 or 4 times the number of seats the state has in the House of Representatives.
Among bills that passed second reading are a bill to establish National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, sponsored by Representative Wali Raji, and the bill seeking the establishment of Federal University of Education, Pankshin Plateau State, from Representative Yusuf Gagdi.
And the House of Representatives wants the service chiefs designates to hit the ground running and has gone ahead to set up a special ad hoc committee to screen the appointees nominated by the President. Again, National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on the screening held Wednesday.
This special ad hoc committee, with membership drawn from the House Committees on Defense, Army, Air Force and Navy, believes the service chiefs designates have their jobs cut out for them in view of the myriad of security breaches in various shapes and forms in parts of the country. Chairman of the ad hoc committee acknowledged that Nigeria is blessed with brave and gallant soldiers, but the armed forces require a solution-oriented leadership.
From the inception of this 9th House of Representatives, national security has been discussed more than 200 times at plenary. Yet the nation is still grappling with diverse and increasing security challenges, despite some successes recorded by the gallant men and women of our armed forces.
Minister of Defense Bashir Magashiri assured that the armed forces is alert to its constitutional role and ready to checkmate security breaches.
We are prepared more than ever before to subordinate the military to the civil authority. That we will do in order to promote the cohesion and national unity in the country.
The 4 service chiefs designate Major General Lucky Rabo, Major General Ibrahim Atahiru, Rear Admiral Awal Gambu, and Air Vice Marshal Isiaka Mau for Defense, Army, Navy and Air Force respectively, gave a brief on their vision.
I intend to see a very professional armed forces, an armed forces that is effective, an armed forces that is agile, an armed forces that is result-oriented, and of course, that is loyal to constituted authority.
Loyalty and sacrifice to the fatherland. Dependability will be on the Nigerian Army capacity and capability to accomplish mission.
Leverage on all factors of national location, technology, training, teamwork, and synergy to re-energize the Nigerian Navy and enhance her as a well-motivated and ready naval force.
Ensure the integrity of airspace by gaining and maintaining control of the air while retaining a credible capability to fulfill other air power tasks demanded by national defense and security imperatives.
The screening was conducted behind closed doors.
A bill is a draft of a proposed law presented by a legislator to Parliament for discussion. Now, a bill does not become law until it is passed by the legislature and in most cases approved by the executive. But is it possible for an ordinary citizen to sponsor a bill and it is successfully passed into law? How exactly? Let's find out.
Any Nigerian can sponsor a bill, can craft a bill and bring it to the National Assembly. But it should be known that if you are not a member of the National Assembly, be it a senator or a member of the House of Representatives, you cannot simply, the bill cannot be in your name. Okay? But in the history of the bill, if you are a member of the public, it can be captured that yes, Madam Teresa, okay, was the one who initiated this bill, and it was sponsored that you must get a member of the House of Representatives or a senator to sponsor the bill. Now, the implication is that after you've drafted the bill and then forward it to the National Assembly, but it has to carry the name of a serving member who will now present the bill in his name. Okay? But the compendium, the other history of the bill will still carry Teresa's name as having been the originator. Okay? But it must be sponsored by a serving member. Then it will go through the normal vetting that yes, such a bill, such new bill has not contradicted any section of the Constitution. It has not contradicted any existing bill. And then after the relevant scrutiny, it will now be gazetted, then presented to the House for first reading. After the first reading, a scheduled debate, a debate will be scheduled where the sponsor of the bill will now convince the rest of the House as to the efficacy, the nature of the bill. Then after that, after the debate, it will be passed into passed as second reading. Then it will be sent to the relevant committee of the House, which would now schedule a public hearing. Okay, the public hearing, members of the public will be informed that on so date there will be a public hearing on a bill entitled so and so. Members of the public are encouraged now to bring in their memoranda. Now, memoranda will be, the address of the office will be provided via the media, and then memoranda will be collected, contributions. Then on the day of the public hearing, all those who made submissions, memoranda, to the committee will now be given the opportunity now to canvass their positions for or against such bills. All the opinions so canvassed at the public hearing now will now be collected into one and then presented as a report to the committee of the whole of the committee of the whole of the National Assembly. And then after that, the close by close consideration of that bill will be made and then passed at the third reading.
Now, there are indications that constitutional review is one of the priorities of the 9th House of Representatives. So, to gain a better understanding of what parts of the 1999 Constitution might be up for amendment, we engaged the member representing Abuja Municipal and Buhari Federal Constituency of the FCT, Mika Jiba, who lifts the lead on the wishes of his constituents with regards to the Constitution amendment. Let's hear him.
The North Central, we have 7 states, including Federal Capital Territory, isn't it? Nasarawa will get the minister. Niger will get the minister. Plateau will get the minister. Benue will get the minister. But the FCT will not get the minister. Are we not part of the North Central? Are we not part of the Nigerians? When we talk about the Federal Capital Territory, we are not talking about the Federal Capital Territory in terms of population by birth. No. We are talking about the population of Federal Capital Territory by influence. That people enter Federal Capital Territory every hour. People enter Federal Capital Territory every day. I'm not trying to say every year, but every hour, every day. A very good example, just take your term, go to Nyanya Junction, that is the boundary between Federal Capital Territory and the Nasarawa State. You discover that people triple into Federal Capital Territory every day. Just go to that Zuba. Just take 30 minutes or 1 hour. Take your assignment. You discover that people come to Federal Capital Territory every day because this is the heart of Nigeria. What is even difficult, just the way it's happening now, just to amend the constitution to say, okay, yes, Abuja should have a state. Abuja should have 3 senators. Abuja should have about 5 to 6 House of Rep. Because the population of Federal Capital Territory is more than, I'm repeating it, more than that of Jigawa, more than that of Bayelsa State. And still, we are still maintaining 1 senator. We have only 1 senator. The Jigawa State have about 5 to 6 senators. 3 senators. We are talking about 2 House of Rep here in Federal Capital Territory. The Jigawa State has about 5 to 6 House of Rep, like what that of Bayelsa State. But I believe with this particular constitutional review by the grace of God, something will be done by the grace of God.
Recent incidents of violence in some parts of the country has led to debates about how to find a lasting solution to the challenges. Some even talked about making laws that might help. So you and your reps went to the people to find out how the lawmakers could weigh in, and here's what we got.
They should make laws that will enhance all the arms of the security to do their best. 1, make laws that will improve their welfare of the security agencies, make laws that will enhance their training capability and retraining, make sure that we'll be able to take care of the widows of the dead ones who died on active service. The laws is in their hand.
Let them make laws, you understand, that will make states to be on their own, have their own state police and all that, you understand. When you have an indigene who is a police in his area and all that, you understand, he will be able to know where and where, who is who and all that.
You call them bandits, people that are killing people, maiming people, raping women and children, doing, stuff. Inhuman treatment to human beings, and you're calling them bandits. They are terrorists. Call them terrorists. So they need to enact a law that will criminalize them.
There's no crime that already doesn't have an existing punishment when it's being committed. If somebody is a bandit, where it's expected that if a bandit is being arrested, there's a law that is there to deal with that person. So I don't think there's any new law that is needed to me. So it's just the implementation that matters. That's just it.
This week on You and Your Reps, the committee segment delves into the workings of the House Committee on Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring, also known as Local Content, where Lego Idagbo holds sway as chairman.
Well, basically, what the committee seeks to achieve is to ensure that for every expatriate coming into Nigeria, we're able to understudy that expatriate and subsequently create jobs for Nigerians. We also want to ensure that where there is an investment in the oil and gas sector, which is initially what the committee was set out to oversee, that Nigerians are able to benefit from that investment in the oil and gas sector in terms of job creation, in terms of transfer of technology, in terms of knowledge, so that subsequently our oil and gas sector can be properly manned by Nigerians. We want to build capacity of Nigerian companies so that they can be competitive not only in Nigeria but also outside the shores of Nigerians. And I think so far the board NCDMB has achieved a lot in that regard. They've been able to build capacities of many Nigerian companies. They've been able to create numerous jobs in the sector. They've been able to reduce the cost of oil and gas businesses in Nigeria because of competitiveness and because of being able to source materials in country and manpower in country. So considerably to a large extent the cost of the oil and gas sector investments have gone down to a large extent. I think I will commend Mr. President first of all for the executive orders he signed in the past as it concerns local content. The executive orders try to ensure that Nigerian companies are given a fighting chance, try to ensure that even in terms of procurement, that first priority is given to Nigerian companies over and above foreign companies, so long as the Nigerian companies have the capacity and have shown that they have those capacities. So I want to commend the President for that, and I believe that as soon as our local content bill, the expansion bill, gets to its table for accent, that we're going to get speedy accent of that bill. As I speak to you, we are amending the present act. The act was passed in 2012. That's a couple of years back. So we're trying to amend the act to be in line with the present realities. And again, we're trying to expand the local content law outside the oil and gas sector. We've achieved a lot in the oil and gas sector, but there are other sectors that we need to also record that kind of achievement in, like the communication sector, the ICT sector, infrastructure, agriculture, and all that. So we want to expand the law outside the oil and gas sector. The bill presently has passed first and second reading both in the Senate and in the House of Reps. We've done the public hearing, and then we're just fine-tuning the letters of the bill based on the inputs from the public hearing, and we hope that in no distant time we'll do the third reading and then send the bill to the President for assent. It's always an achievement when you see capacity of Nigerian companies being grown. I was very excited when I went to Ajaokuta to witness the groundbreaking ceremony that was performed by Mr. President for the AKK pipeline project. Incidentally, a Nigerian company, Oilserve, is the lead contractor in that project, and the Chinese company is their partner. That is to say that the Nigerian company has taken lead, which didn't used to be the case. Before now, foreign companies take the lead and then the local companies come in to partner with them. But now we're seeing Nigerian companies, their capacities are being grown and they can take the lead in major projects like that. Again, when you hear of contracts being won even outside the shores of Nigeria, like bid rounds in Equatorial Guinea and some other countries, you see Nigerian companies winning those bid rounds and competing against the multinationals. You begin to say that you've achieved a lot in terms of building capacity in local content. That's all local content stands for. to build capacity of our local companies, to create jobs for Nigerians, and to ensure that our Nigerians are competitive outside the shores of Nigeria. So with some of these achievements we've recorded, I think local content has done well in the oil and gas sector. It is in trying to replicate these achievements in other sectors that we are coming up with the expansion bill to take local content outside the shores of oil and gas, so we can also have similar achievements in other sectors of the economy, which is not the case as it's presently constituted today. Most of the challenges we have is lack of compliance with some of the multinationals, the Chinese companies, the Indian companies. It's difficult to get them to comply with our own local content laws because they also have their own regulations from their own countries to see how they can employ as many of their citizens in Nigeria as possible. And they are taking the jobs that can be done by Nigerians. So you see a Chinese company coming into Nigeria with even laborers, Chinese laborers. These are jobs that can be done by Nigeria. So it's a challenge chasing them and getting them to do the right thing. You know, so we've been working on that. We've been able to ensure compliance at some level with some of the Chinese companies. Some have written to DPR, some Indian companies to suspend their licenses. We've written to immigration to withdraw expatriate quota. You know, where we know that Nigerians are qualified for those jobs, we don't allow the Chinese come to take these jobs. But it's work in progress. It's not something that can be easily achieved because some of these companies, they come with some level of technicality, they come with some know-how, and again they come with some long legs and connections. So getting them to do the right thing is always a challenge. But like I said, it's work in progress, and my committee is working day and night to ensure that we get them to do the right thing.
That insight into the activities of the House Committee on Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring brings us to the end of this week's edition of You and Your Reps. Thank you for your company, and see you next time.